We're here for our weekly press conference with head coach Clarissa Crowell. Coach, what are your main takeaways from Western Kentucky last weekend?
Yeah, I think one of them is the fact that we need to do a better job of closing out games, and our team knows that. In particular, our pitching staff and our defense knows that. And that first game against Western Kentucky, we go into the seventh inning with a 2-run lead, get the first 2 outs of the inning, and unfortunately weren't able to close. So, again, our kids know that. We don't need to harp on it, but that's one thing that we've just got to do a better job of in the upcoming weeks. But on a positive note, the one thing that I loved about our team is in that Western Illinois game, we're down in the game and our kids were resilient and came back. So it was definitely a great win for us. And we closed the weekend out on a strong note. And I think that's the main takeaway from this past weekend. And it was a really long day for our kids because our first game was at 10. And the way that tournament was structured, we didn't know if we were going to play the 3 o'clock game or the 5:30 game. So basically what that meant was our kids were at the field from about 8 o'clock in the morning till 8:30 at night, and to keep your energy level and to keep your focus level that long, that's a hard thing to do. And honestly, that Western Kentucky game, that second game was, or the second game against them, that was the best game that our team has played all year. And I think we finally got a glimpse of what our team is capable of doing when we're able to just play a complete game. And what I mean by that is that we had great pitching, we had great defense, and our offense found a way to have timely hits and manufacture runs, and their energy level was awesome. So I was really proud about the way we were able to close last weekend.
Right. And how important was it for those offensive veterans from the team to have good performances last weekend?
Right. In our sport, in baseball, and in anybody who understands our game, hitting goes in waves. And fortunately, Johnny Ann Wall, Mickey, Michaela Schlappman, and Lauren Anderson had great weekends for us. And that's what playmakers do. And, from an offensive standpoint, those are 3 kids that we definitely are going to rely on this year. And they had maybe a slow start last week, but as I said in my conference or post conference last week after that tournament, I was 100% confident that they were going to get better this weekend, and they absolutely were. Each of them had a home run. Mickey hit 3 home runs. Johnny hit 2. They drove in. They had most of our RBIs this weekend, and their slugging percentages were through the roof. So very pleased with their performance. And when we reflect back on the Rosemont trip, we had some other kids that stepped up, and that's just what's going to happen. But I was very proud of those 3 for stepping up because we definitely needed them to do that this weekend.
How critical was it for Jamie Scher to pitch a complete game Sunday night against Western?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. And she's a freshman. She obviously doesn't have that much experience. This was the first start that she got this year, and I was so proud of the way she went out there and competed. And Western Kentucky is a very, very good team. So for her to have gone out and do what she did, it was really remarkable. She threw 7 innings, and in this day and age, for any pitcher to go a complete game, that says a lot. But she was just as sharp in the 7th inning as she was in the 1st inning. And what I really loved about it was just her process. Mentally, I felt that she was prepared. She handled pressure situations extremely well. She didn't give up any walks. She did a great job of hitting her spots and working ahead in the counts. So I think just just overall for our team to see what Jamie's capable of doing, it was a huge, huge boost for our team. And anytime your pitching staff can go out there and do what Jamie was able to do, it's exciting. And just for Jamie herself, just being a freshman and for her confidence level, I think it was huge. So again, yes, she just did an exceptional job against Western Kentucky this past weekend.
All right, and moving on to this week.
Yes.
What do you expect this weekend at the Carolina Classic?
Yeah, I expect us to go out and play against some good teams, starting with Marshall. And Marshall is a great team. They're a team that we're familiar with just because they are in this region and we've played them before. I have the utmost respect for that program and Coach Shonda, who does an excellent job with that team. And what we can expect out of Marshall is they're going to come out and they're going to play hard and they're going to play with energy. They're scrappy, and that is a team that never quits. And traditionally, they're a team that's going to be full of speed. I believe they've already stolen maybe around 30 bases this year. So, our kids are going to have to be ready to defend the short game. We're going to have to be ready to just make sure that we're throwing runners out from a catching standpoint. standpoint. But yeah, Marshall's going to be a very good team. As far as North Carolina, they're also a very good team. Obviously, they're in the ACC, and they're a well-rounded team, meaning that they're going to pitch well, they're going to play defense, and they've got some kids in their lineup that can hit and that can run. So in order for us to beat those two teams, we're definitely going to have to bring out our A game. And Towson and Hampton are also doing a good job. And sometimes when you look at the numbers, it doesn't matter, because what matters is what teams are going to show up on that day. And both Towson and Hampton, it looks like they've got some pretty good hitters in their lineup. But yeah, the biggest thing and the biggest focus for us is going to be our kids going out there and just competing the way that we're capable of competing. And what I'd like to see is us, go down there this weekend and put together more complete games, meaning having good pitching and defense, and our offense being able to manufacture runs. So, but the girls are excited. I know the weather's supposed to be really nice down there. I don't believe a lot of them have been down to that North Carolina area, so it should be a good trip.
Through the first 2 weeks, how would you assess the team's progress, and what do you hope to see improved at North Carolina?
Right. I think the biggest thing in the past 2 weeks is our team has had glimpses of the team that we can be. And I just go back to that Western Kentucky game this past Sunday. I mean, their energy level, their effort level, and just the way that they mentally and physically competed on the field. It was awesome. And I was so proud of the way they just played the game last Sunday. So, we've had glimpses of greatness, and we've also had glimpses of what happens if we're not 100% focused and locked in every single pitch. But it's early in the season. We're 2 weeks in. And as we've told our team, all these pre-conference games that we're playing, all it's doing is it's preparing us for MAC, which is ultimately what is most important. And I'm a firm believer that a team needs to experience adversity early on, so that when hard times hit at the end of the year, they know how to overcome that. So it's a process. Our model right now is to prepare for MAC and trust the process. And I think our kids have been doing a really good job of responding to hard times and bouncing back, but also at the same time learning from some of the things that, we need to get better at. But going into this weekend, I just want our kids to go out there and compete hard and just be mentally and more so mentally tough, and just be able to go out there and just compete the way that we're capable of competing. So.
All right. Thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thank you.